afternoon. My name is Kevin Coriel, and I'm one of the co-owners of First and Main Design Market. One of the things I do here is build or shape pieces of furniture that we cannot source from our vendors. They could just have a low quality, they could not be made by a person from start to finish, and frankly, we get customers in here who want specialty items that are made with somebody's hands, and those hands are mine. I got started in woodworking by accident about 4 years ago when we opened the store, and this is characteristic of some of the pieces that I've been cranking out since then. It all started with a charcuterie board that we sold at our grand opening for $500, and then two more for another $500, and that's how everything kicked off. I get my wood from a couple of local vendors, one of which has 30 acres on the Stillaguamish River. So he gets spalted maple and old growth timbers that can't be milled anymore in the United States. This is an example of a mantle that I made from a customer's spalted maple that they cleared on their property after they or before they built their house. This is another example of some of the items that can come from spalted lumber. This piece actually is a really stunning piece. It's unfinished wood, and as you can see, as I mineral spirits on it, you can see a grain pattern, a corrugation, if you will, of the grain right there and all along there. Fine wood instruments and furniture for hundreds of years. In fact, if you Google flame maple patterns and images, the backside of just about every Stradivarius violin in existence is made with this flame maple pattern. It's kind of cool when it shows up. I started out with mantles and live edge shelves and console tables, and this is a kind of a new offering of ours called a gathering table. It's narrow and long. Stands at counter height, which is 36 inches. This being a piece of maple, and obviously a streak of black walnut was added to it. Very similar to some of the epoxy river tables and whatnot that you see on YouTube. I don't like making them, but I do see the value in using epoxy to fill in certain holes, cracks, use bow tie joinery, and coupled with epoxy to make some pretty stunning tables. So here's 4 pieces of finished Western red cedar that I have. They're actually the same tree as this piece on the top here. And it's kind of difficult to discern, but this wood is so old that each annual ring on it is less than 1 millimeter in width. So this tree is probably in excess of about 300 years old. A little bit of maple in here. I've got some other old growth cedar, notably a couple pieces here that were in a forest fire. And then they wound up on the bottom of the Stillaguamish River and spent decades on the bottom of the river until the river changed course and floated those logs back up. Another thing that I have access to is VG lumber, or vertical grain. It is Douglas fir that is old growth, which is defined as before commercial logging occurred in Washington State, which is, it started in the 1850s and really got into full swing in the 1870s. These are the logs that were part of the black and white photos that you see in all the restaurants around here with these loggers that are, cutting down trees that are, far bigger than you can reach around. And this is an amazing wood because of it. This is what all your old houses, your vintage houses are framed in around here. It's what a lot of the flooring was made around here. Technically it's Douglas fir. Technically it's identical to your Home Depot 2x4. But when you see the grain in this and you feel how it sands and how it resists, how hard it is, you begin to find a whole lot of uses for it. In fact, this was what all the old growth, or this is what all the old wooden boats around here were made out of. It was a perfect rot resistant, fungal resistant wood that was here for hundreds of years, and it's very, very useful. If you guys have any more questions, I work here Tuesday through Saturday as a co-owner at First and Main, and I am literally always working on something. In fact, I'm usually upstairs outside the bay door, remarkably working in between two dumpsters. Anywho, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.